I'd like to go over making an Corsair F4U in FreeCAD. This is one of my favorite planes from World War II and Korean War era. I think it's absolutely brilliant. In FreeCAD, being able to make the wings where you have an airfoil shape all the way through the length of the wing, no matter how it bends or what this top profile might be. I think it's a pretty remarkable modeling program, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. So why don't we go ahead and get started. I'm going to make a new part. This is also about modeling from an image as well as making an airplane. So we can go to the image workbench and insert some images to model off of. You just need like a front, top, and right view. Often you need a rear view, but with the shape of the Corsair we can get away with simply the 3 views. I'm going to choose this middle button here, create planar image in 3D space. And I chose the front view of the plane, so let's choose XZ as the front. And if I change my view to ISO, you should be able to see we've got a front view now. I'm going to rename this and make that front view so we can reference it later. Hitting the same button, I'll import a side view. And we'll choose this side plane or the YZ plane. And there's another image. Next I'll choose the center button. And I chose the top view, so we'll go with the XY plane. So there I've got 3 planes of my airplane. And I can rename this to be the side view. And I can rename this to be the top view, so we can reference them later. We'll go down to part design, and from the tree I can double click and position my front view anywhere. So what would be easiest is to make a sketch in part design that calls out where a part is. I'm going to choose the XY plane. I need to call it where the origin is really. So I'll choose Polyline, select the origin. I'm going to make a little arrow that indicates where my origin is, closed. So now I can see where my origin is in this sketching environment. So I'll double click on my front view and view this from the front. I'll have to hide my side and my top view, and when I view this from the front, you can see I need to move my front view up if I want to have the center of my propeller on the origin, which would be my goal. So double click on the front view, and notice I have increments of 1 millimeter to adjust, and or I think yours will probably default, if you're in millimeters anyway, yours will default to an increment of 1 millimeter. You can see you get kind of a rough scroll there. So to make that buttery, I'm choosing 0.01 millimeters. And as I go to adjust that, you can see it's buttery smooth to position that. It looks like we're about dead center on the right spot. So there we've been able to position the picture properly from one view. Now let me show my side view. And if I double click on my side view and go to my right view over here, I can reposition this side view so that the tip of the propeller is right up front. Okay, so there's my... Oh, and it looks like my origin is right there and not right there, so I'll move this even further back and take another look from my right view. That looks about correct, so we're going to say OK on that. And next, top view. I'm going to double click my top view and make sure that the very tip of the propeller is on my origin. About right there. I can probably view that from the bottom a little bit easier. Oh, maybe not. Let's go back to the top. Yeah, so my sketch has disappeared a little bit, but I think we're going to be close enough there. So I'm going to hide my top view and show my side view and create a sketch on that plane here. I'm going to start with a 3-point rim point arc. and I can choose the center point and this end point, and H for horizontal, likewise V for vertical over here. That shows that this arc goes exactly 90 degrees. And I simply adjust that, and I'll choose a polyline actually. I adjust that to best fit my image. Of course, proximity will have to do when modeling from an image. You can add dimensions on this if you wish. And let's go with because this does not seem like a constant radius. There's my 3 points. We choose vertical on that point and horizontal on that point. And that seems like it's a pretty good match right there. So I'll finish off with polyline. I'm going to come down to this axis vertically and then right back to my very first point there. Again, you can add dimensions. I don't know if I finished that thought or not. You can add dimensions if you want to fully constrain, and if you want to scale the pictures right, you can always pull data like what the wingspan would be or what the overall length would be, and creating little sketches to scale your pictures to. I like to just make the model and then scale the model when I'm done. I think that's the easiest when dealing with images, but again, you're the engineer, so choose your preference. I'm going to choose revolve. But I've got the wrong sketch highlighted, so why don't we hide that sketch, highlight sketch 001, choose revolve, and that looks really cool actually, but I'm going to choose the Y axis, and if I go to the front view and show the image, that seems like a nice fit. If I go to the side view, that seems like a nice fit. From the top view and show my top view, that seems like a nice fit. So that's a good clue that the solid that we've created is quite close or similar to what we want to make overall. So I'm going to choose this front view, and if I double click it, I'm going to, oops, Control Z. Let's pretend like I never did that. I'm going to choose my side view rather. If I double click it, I'm going to move it over here, and that way the image will not interfere with the sketches that I'm about to do. I'm going to choose my top view and move it down, so we can still reference these images in the right positions. They're just further in the Z direction, so that our sketches will have a little bit more ease in being selectable. I'm going to create a plane based off of this face. So we'll highlight that face, choose datum plane, going to the side view. It seems like our body seems to change significantly at this point, so we're going to offset it from the Z right where we seem to get to that point, and it seems like 36 millimeters is about right. The body also comes down here, so I think at this point the cross section of the body is going to be very nearly circular, but it won't be quite circular. It won't be exactly a circle. So highlighting this plane, we'll choose sketch, and notice we have a big plane in the way. So I'm going to select my front view and hide it with the space bar. And oh, my mouse went a little crazy there, but I think we're okay. Going to construction geometry, I'm going to create two polylines. I'm going to manually constrain it to the origin here. We'll make this vertical with the V key. Now if I take a look, I really want, oh please let me select this. There we go. It seems like you can only select these points on one side, and I'll hide this datum plane with the space bar to simplify. My mouse is going a bit crazy, but let's go with the side view. And it looks like I have to get off of my view just enough to really adjust my sketch, and I want to go up just a hair. Side view, down a hair. Side view. There we go. So that seems like a good fit, and it's easiest to just grab that and hit the lock, so I can lock that into place. Go to the top view, and I want to match this profile of my body down here, Again, top view. Maybe I'll move it just a hair outward. Top view again, that seems about right. So highlight that point, unhighlight my axis, hit the lock, and we've locked that in place. So we're told that we are fully constrained on our sketch. I'm going to hide my solid for a second. So if I highlight revolution and hit the spacebar to hide that, and I'll show my front view with the spacebar. Yeah, I really can't see well with the front view actually, so we'll hide that and go back to the side view. I'm going to take a guess that our body is going to be right about there, which could be a very different length than where our body was before. So if I go here and I'll create a line and it looks like from the side view, and I want my line to be horizontal, so hit the H for horizontal, and then I'm going to adjust the length of my line according to the bottom section of my body. Little touch higher. And that seems to be about the right length. So I'm going to hit the lock button there. And now I can do driving geometry and make it some 3-point arcs. Or not arcs, but rather 3-point splines. I'm going to make 2 of them. We're going to choose vertical here, horizontal here, horizontal, vertical. Now you can mirror, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm simply going to manually do the other side, and I can use a symmetric across my origin to properly position that point. And choose vertical. I like doing it manual because I know that it turns out exactly that I want it to. Horizontal, exactly the way that I want it to. Now, oh, and that did not latch on, I could see that, so we're going to highlight there and there, and that looks like it worked. Vertical, again using the V and H keys, H for horizontal. So that's our next profile, right? And if I look at that from the top view, it seems to match very well. From the side view, it seems to match very well. So we've done good on that profile. Next, I want to do the same thing, and I'm going to click on my revolution, hit the spacebar to show it again. We're going to create a datum plane. We're going to offset from the z-axis a little bit. And I can show my side view. I want to go probably to that second tangent point. All right, so if I say maybe 100.75, 100.5, 100.5 seems like a pretty good fit. I'm going to say OK, and highlight this datum plane, create a sketch, and for my viewing convenience, I can immediately hide that datum plane with the space bar. I'm going to do roughly the same thing, Polyline in construction geometry, create a vertical and a horizontal line, and I can manually, that's my mouse again, this is the mouse that I normally use, I can manually make that go onto my origin there. We'll go to the right view, and I need to lower that a touch. Going to the right view again, raise that a hair. and that seems about right. There we go. Let's go to the top view. There we go. I have to be on the right side of the plane in order to be able to select it. Top view again. Ooh, that's pretty close. I'm going to go just a hair outward. Top view. Fantastic. Both points where I want them. Highlight one. Let me try that one more time. Highlighting one. Lock. There we go. Highlighting the next point. Lock. There we go. Let's do that one more time. I'm going to go isometric, and I don't think I can select anything unless I'm viewing from this side of the plane. Wait, which side is it? Okay, so create one more line. In fact, I'll just go straight normal. We'll merge there. We'll go horizontal there. Yep, and now I can view from the right side. Twinge higher, a bit lower. And that should do. Highlight this point and lock. Great! Let's do the same thing. Get normal here. And let's choose driving geometry with another 3-point here. Here to here is vertical. Here to here is horizontal. And if you're wondering why I'm choosing these relations, it's because this spline, when I choose a vertical from here to here, is going to be tangent to vertical. And from here to here, if these are horizontal, it'll be tangent to horizontal. So we have a smooth transition between 3-point splines that way. Here to here to there. Something got messed up. I'm just going to Control Z that right out and start over again. Okay, it's like that, that, and that. Vertical, horizontal. That's better. And again, there's nothing wrong with mirroring it. I like to do it manually because it ends up exactly how I intend for it. You know, you don't have any added or subtracted relations that you don't intend. So highlighting that point, I guess I have to I'll choose symmetry, this point, this point, this point. Alright, now I can add in another 3-point spline. I'll choose symmetry from this point to the origin to this point. Horizontal, vertical, and I'll do the last one. I'll start it there. Vertical, horizontal. Right, so looks good. Close that up. Here's the next part of our body. The next thing that I can do is create another sketch. I'm going to choose this face. We'll adjust the Z. We'll go to the right view. 210.5, 210.25, 210.35 seems about right. So I'm going to say OK. And if you look carefully, you can see about the width right there from the top, and from the side you can see that it's much taller, right? So it's not a circular tail section. So I wish I could put a circle on there, but I actually have to start a sketch and use the same method that I've been doing before. So model, datum plane, off. So make a line there, a line there, a line there. Whoop. I think I accidentally exited my sketch, so get back into it. All right, and these two will be horizontal, this one will be vertical. And if I go from my right view, or my top view, we've got to take this, move it way in. Let's go back to the top view. Yeah. Be nice if you could select these things when viewing perpendicular to the sketch plane, but I can understand how that would cause an error in the FreeCAD kernel if you had the ability to do that. Alright, top view, that's about right. So we'll lock that in place, and now let's go from our right or side view, just in this top one. That seems about right. Lock that one. Bring this up. A little too high there. Right view. A little more down. A hair further. I'll add in a horizontal dimension. That's our sketch. So doing the same. Oh, I better change that to driving. And horizontal, vertical, vertical. Adding a symmetric relation, and then also these three. Well, these three here, horizontal. Again, using the H and V keys for horizontal and vertical. Make that vertical and vertical. There we go. That's our end section there. Let's see what we can do. I think the easiest way to handle this is sketching on this face. We know that this is a revolve that was a circular section, so I simply need to import this outer edge, create a circle from here to there, and we're fully defined. You can use 4 elements on that, like 4 arcs if you wish. FreeCAD recommends that for a smoother loft. I don't foresee that many problems with lofting this. So with Sketch 5 highlighted, we're going to choose additive loft. We're going to add a section here, add a section here, and viewing from the right, it matches the body pretty well so far. I'm suspicious that we will not have a great match if I add this last section. Yeah, and viewing from the right, that's blah. I don't want to go with ruled surface because it just makes the body look so much more blocky. So instead, we're going to remove this loft and uncheck ruled surface. Okay. And then we'll grab sketch 3, additive loft, add section. Okay. And maybe it will let me add a fillet there. Yeah, 10mm fillet should smooth the body out enough. So there is our body. Viewing from the right, looks like we matched the image pretty well. Viewing from the top, it's a good match. And from the front, it's a good match, but you just can't see that much. But you can see the canopy there. Looks like we're about spot on. So that's as far as I'm going to take it for today. And that is, again, making a model from images in FreeCAD. Join me in the next video. Should be uploaded next week, and we'll cover an even bigger challenge. How about the wings? Hope this video was helpful. If it was, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.